Okay, here I am on the Pokemon X screen on the Nintendo eShop, about to tap the purchase button. Yeah, I topped myself up a lot more money than I should have, just to be sure. It's always a thing, converting between Australian and American currency. Seriously, you get a game like this for $40, really? Our games are like pretty much double the price of yours. Seriously, in Australia, the average DS game is $60 to $70, and the average console game is about $100. So, yeah. But anyway, tap here to purchase. Oh yes, I will tap here. Come on, please tell me that this hasn't crashed. Please tell me this hasn't crashed. I really half expected the eShop to have exploded, but anyway. Rated E for comic mischief and mild cartoon violence. You know what's interesting? In Australia, this game is rated PG, and for violence and mild themes, which makes me really interested. Weirdly enough, Ace Attorney Dual Destinies here was also rated PG, despite it being like 15 plus in America, which I think is ridiculous. Okay, oh, tax. Stupid tax. Anyway, yeah, I pay a little more to get stuff off the American eShop in Australia, but it is still cheaper than getting games here, which is really... The eShop's crashing, isn't it? Oh, I had a feeling this might happen. Had a feeling. I've just got to try and get through. I really should have gone on this earlier. Although, if this ends up blocking me because I'm not American, the blind run will not be happening and I will freaking kill someone. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, work, 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 please work, please work, please work, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, it's gonna fail, isn't it? It's gonna fail, isn't it? It's gonna fail, isn't it? Oh, come on, come on. Ah! Ah! Ah, that's interesting. So the eShop crashed like I completely expected it to, but it did register my download, and I've got it here if I want to re-download it. So, okay, it still recorded my purchase. It's just that, yeah. It's just that it crashed before I could download it. Okay, there we go, download now. This is probably going to take hours. I was half expecting this to be a disaster, but it looks like it did work out, hopefully. Let's just hope the eShop doesn't explode midway through this download. Now, chances are this is going to take hours, so while this thing is downloading, it's a 1.7 gigabyte game or something ridiculous like that, so while this is downloading, I guess I should just give a brief primer on how this blind run is going to work. So, just sit back and listen to me ramble on for a bit, and if I finish before the download finishes, I promise I'll just cut the video and not let you be subject to torment. So, this is how things is going to work. I am doing a blind run of Pokemon X. Why X? Well, my main copy on my Australian DS is going to be Pokemon Y, so I thought I may as well get the other version as my recording copy. And I'm pretty sure American and Australian DSs can trade between each other. I actually heard, I only found out recently that, random trivia here, the original Red and Blue, the Japanese versions were incompatible where it came to trading with the English versions. Though this was because limited memory meant that the Japanese version couldn't store the English alphabet, and the English version couldn't store the Japanese alphabet, so that's why they were incompatible, just limited memory. Nowadays, memory is much bigger and all versions can store all languages, so games are intercompatible all over the world, and the world is a much better place for it. Anyway, So that was a random tangent, but let's just say I hope the games are compatible, because what I plan to do is, I plan to actually EV train most of my Pokemon on my Australian DS, but trade them over to this recording DS, and then play some Wi-Fi battles with them, so I can record Wi-Fi matches. That was actually the main reason I actually got this capture card. The blind run just came as an idea. I thought, wait a second, if I'm going to be getting a capture card about the time X and Y come out, I could do a blind playthrough. So, here we go, back to the possibility of the blind run. Now, yeah. Once again, I am perfectly aware that everyone and their mother is going to be doing the same thing as me. Seriously, just about every single high-profile Let's Player on YouTube, Pokemon or otherwise, I've heard they're going to be doing this. So, I've got a lot of competition, and my videos don't get that much views anyway, but you know what, I don't really care. This is going to be fun for me, and this is the first chance I have to actually show what it's like, what my reactions are to experiencing a Pokemon game for the very first time. Not knowing anything, not knowing any of the new Pokemon, except for some exceptions, and not knowing, hi, little shopping bag hanging on that thing. Not knowing most of the new mechanics, not knowing any of the gym leaders except for what we've got, not knowing any of the teams of the gym leaders they live for, not knowing the plot, just, you know, doing this completely blind. And this is the first time I've ever had to do this, because every other Pokemon game has been released in Japan first, and because of that, by the time we get it, we already know everything, because sites like Cerebi and Smogon have already just cracked the game and said, hey look, we've got all the data, here's all the new Pokemon, here are all the gym leaders, here are all their levels, here's the plot, here's everything. Yeah. I'm really sad to admit this, but Pokemon Black and White, I actually kinda got spoiled on the ending, which I'm really annoyed that I did, because it was so unexpected if you don't see it coming. I won't talk about it, because my, no experience playthrough of the game isn't finished yet, so speaking of which, that hopefully still will be going on if I, for some reason, want a break from playing this, but, expect both that and this to be uploaded, yeah. But, anyway, so, let me just talk about how this blind run is going to work. Oh my gosh, it's actually gone up a bit. Okay, anyway, getting excited here. Seriously, I haven't been this excited for a game in a long time. I don't think I was even this excited for Black and White. I mean, this one is just so much awesome stuff to look forward to, and I'm really looking forward to blind running this. But anyway, so let me just get a few things out of the way. Here's what I do know about this game, so what I'm not blind on. I know every single thing that has been revealed officially up until this point. I have not looked at the leaks, so before you think that, no, I have not looked at the leaks in any way, shape, or form, except for the final starter evolutions. That is my one exception, because I'm one of those people who cannot make their choice of starter without knowing the final forms first. I gotta know the final forms, you know, they're the ones that'll be with you for the longest, so I purely base my choice of starter on the final forms. I usually base it on stats and move pool too, but hey, I'm not gonna know those this time. Apparently, Smogon has already started trying to figure out the base stats, so hopefully we'll be getting those soon. But for the time being, I'm not going to know those. And that doesn't really concern me. The real thing that concerns me is not knowing evolution methods. That could be a problem. Especially if I decide to use something and I'm like, hey, this thing is really awesome, and then I get it into like the 50s and it's not evolving, and I'm like, damn it. Yeah, if worse comes to worse, okay, I hope there's a Call the Professor service in this game like there was in Black and White 2, which, back in those games, you could actually ring up Professor Juniper to ask her how your Pokemon evolve, and that would be really helpful for a game like this. Game, if you're listening, please have something like that. Please also have wait a minute, you don't need to call Bianca to check your effort points, because I believe you can easily view the effort points with Super Training. So, anyway, speaking of Super Training, really looking forward to that, although I have a feeling I might not be using it that much in the blind run, because having EV-trained teams in the main story kind of horribly breaks the game, so, yeah, pretty badly broken that, so might not be really using that, but it's nice to see exactly what random EVs your main story party is getting. Lol, you fell. So like I was saying, I know everything that's been revealed officially up until now, which annoyingly means those 3 new Mega Evolutions that were revealed a day ago. You know what? I'm a little pissed they actually revealed some Mega Evolutions the very day before the games came out. I would have liked to have been blind on those. But anyway, I kind of suspected that Gengar and Tyranitar would get one, but Aggron kind of surprised me. Then again, Aggron is pretty famous in the fandom for its reputation as the manliest Pokemon ever! So I guess that kind of makes sense, and I've had a lot of fun using Aggrons in the past. Rockhead Head Smash. Enough said. Speaking of ability combinations, Gengar, Mega Gengar has Shadow Tag. Yikes. What this basically means is it's going to function as essentially an assassin, because the moment Gengar goes Mega, which apparently happens at a chosen point in the battle, the moment Gengar goes Mega, whatever it's up against is immediately locked in. And it also has Perish Song, but you know what? Anything locked in against a Gengar is probably going to faint anyway. So that's kind of interesting. Of course, ghost types are immune to that, and it looks like this generation may introduce a few more ghost types. I know we've got Honedge. You know what, I'm kind of starting to think that Honedge might be used a little bit, because, Steel type, and with the event of fairies, you know, that's actually pretty cool. So, basically, I know all the new Pokemon that have been revealed thus far. But I don't know anything else. Now, I'm actually a little annoyed they revealed the fossil evolutions, because I would have liked to have found them myself. I've already decided what my fossil's going to be for this challenge anyway. Challenge? No, blind run. I keep thinking that this is some kind of challenge. It's not. Okay, so this is not a Nuzlocke, this is not a no experience challenge, this is not a monotype run, although what I will be doing is, I will be limiting myself for the most part to Kalos Pokemon only. As in new Pokemon only. I know there are old Pokemon in the Kalos decks, but I'm not talking about those. With one exception, and you guys probably know what that exception is. Yeah, it's been revealed, and I watched the live stream of that reveal, and seriously, I exploded when I found that out. Seriously, wow. Awesomeness, so much awesomeness. So that will be my one exception to the Kalos-only rule. So, yeah, basically, that's the stuff I do know, is everything that's been revealed there. Here's just a brief, well, I can't give a brief rundown of the things I don't know, but I'll just try and just explain a few things I don't know. Of course, I know the gym leaders that have been revealed so far. Viola, who we know is Bug, Clement, who is most likely electric but still unconfirmed, almost definitely electric though, Grant, who we don't know actually, but is almost definitely rock or ground, and Coroner, who is definitely fighting, I think, because you can see a fighting symbol in her battle intro, so she's probably fighting. What I don't know, though, is, apart from Viola being first, I'm not sure what the order is, although I'm pretty sure that Clement will be quite early, because he's apparently joining in the anime. So, yeah, I know one gym leader and their type, and I have actually no idea what the other gym leaders are, or what they're going to be, and I actually want to keep it that way. Even if this game has a badge case where you can view all the gym leaders, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm not even going to look at it. I don't even want to know what types the leaders specialize in until I hit their towns. Yep, that sounds crazy, and that's probably gonna come back to bite me horribly, but you know what? I like a challenge, so I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna waltz up to this gym and go, oh, wow, it's that type, I'm so screwed. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll prove amusing to you guys. So, there's that. So I don't know anything about the gym leaders specifically, or things like that. I also don't know the Team Flare plot, anything like that. And the main thing is, apart from the Pokemon that have been already revealed, I know nothing about any of the new Pokemon. Except for one. There's this one Pokemon that I know about, because it's hard not to know about, because it's kind of gone memetic on the internet. All I know is its name, a vague description of what it looks like, and its typing, but I have no idea what its actual appearance is, what its move pool is like, or where you even get it. But all I know is that apparently game FAQs have started to worship it, so yeah. I'm interested to seeing it, but I probably won't be using it, because I don't really like using stuff that's popular. Speaking of that, my choice of starter. I'm not going to reveal that until I actually get into the game, but the sad fact is, my starter combination is actually probably the single most common one among everyone I know, which is really sad, because once again, I really don't like things that are too popular, so that is kind of annoying for me. But anyway, then again, my other choice is something quite underrated, but that's going to be in my main copy. I already know who my main starter is going to be. In fact, I am holding a plush of it right now. You guys can't see that, so you'll have to find out later. Ha ha ha. But, anyway, I also have the starter that I'm going to use in this copy is not my first choice, it's my other choice. Because seriously, I can't regulate the others to second and third choice. They're all actually pretty cool. I've seen all their final evolutions, and I was a little iffy about Fennekin's final evolution at first, and then I saw its official art, and that looks pretty amazing. This is probably one of the first generations where I've genuinely really liked all 3 starter final forms and really feel compelled to use them all. That's never happened before, really, because back in Gen 1, I mean, Charizard really, I really loved Charizard, it was my favourite Pokemon, and it still is, but Blastoise, then again, I'm kind of a bit weird towards Blastoise because, I used to get into heated playground debates about which was better, Charizard or Blastoise, so, I have a bit of bad memories with Blastoise, and Bulbasaur's line... You know, I did not like the fact they made the first few gyms easy. I just didn't like that. I liked a challenge, and I just felt that people who did that were just cheaping out. No offense to anyone who actually did pick Bulbasaur, I'm sorry. It's just that personally, I did not like the fact that the manual really said, if you're a beginner, you should choose Bulbasaur. No, I hated that. I was like, you should go with whichever one's your favorite. Don't choose this thing because it makes the early game easier. Because seriously, the late game is what's really important anyway. So, there's that. Second gen, about second gen starters. You might notice I'm going off on tangents here, but second gen starters. Feraligatr and Typhlosion, I both like them pretty much equally. Meganium, yeah, definitely not. My sister loved that one, though, obviously. Third gen, Blaziken was my obvious first choice, and the others were a little, I picked Mudkip in Emerald, but really, I probably would have actually picked Trico, because I think Sceptile is awesome, and probably cooler than Swampert. Fourth gen, okay, all of them were pretty amazing, but I do like Infernape and Empoleon slightly more. So, yeah. They were some of the best competitive starters of any generation, though, so I really hope these ones can break into it, because 5th gens left a lot to be desired, really. Speaking of 5th gen, Samurott was really the only one that attracted me. Superior's alright, but it just... lack of attacking stats... bad move pool. I like to judge things based on gameplay value, so even though Snivy was ridiculously popular with the fandom just due to how it looks, I didn't really care for that. And Emboar, well, firefighting 3rd time in a row. Enough said. I never really liked Emboar very much. I've never started with Emboar. I believe 5th gen is the only generation where I never once started with fire, because it's really weird because I've always been a fire and water guy myself in every generation. This might be the first one where I break the cycle. Or it might not be. You'll see. So anyway, I'll leave you in suspense on that. As for a few other things I can talk about, so... Now, let's get on to the subject of the fact that this is a blind run, and just, you know, what a blind run entails. This is my first time ever doing a blind run, it's my first time ever doing live commentary, so, forgive me if I sometimes don't have very much to say. I do much prefer doing live commentary on a slower-paced RPG-like game like this, because it gives me more time to talk about things. But, the thing about blind runs is, you can fall into a lot of pitfalls with them. I've seen my fair share of blind runs on YouTube, so I kind of know what are the main pitfalls to fall into, what are the things the fans hate seeing. The main one, well, one of them is excessive failure, unless it's funny. Like in Mega Man blind runs, excessive failure is usually very funny. But, excessive failure, when it gets, well, excessive, is just stops being funny and just becomes painful to watch, and just a waste of time. I won't name any names, but there was one part of a Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep LP I watched that was literally 50 minutes of failing against Braig. Yeah, they didn't even beat him in that video either. 50 minutes of dying to one boss, and no progress made whatsoever. That just, ugh. After watching that, I just feel like I want those 50 minutes of my life back. Fortunately, Pokemon games are generally not very hard unless you set additional restrictions for yourself. I'm pretty sure this game doesn't have a challenge mode, but even if it was, this being a blind run, I can't do challenge mode on my first playthrough because I don't know it exists, because this is a blind run. So whether or not it exists is totally irrelevant. If it does, I really hope I didn't pick the game that gave me easy mode. Damn it. Why would you want to play easy mode? Almost 50%. So, anyway, I will endeavour not to fail too much. If my first run against a gym leader is a fail, though, I might still actually have it in the videos just because it'll be my first reactions to the gym leader. So I'll get all of that blind, and I probably, if I fail more than once, I probably won't show the additional failures. Now, the other thing, and this ties into the first point, that people tend to really dislike about blind runs, and a certain LP group on YouTube tends to get a lot of flack for this, is aimlessly wandering around for entire videos without knowing what to do. Yeah, that's the kind of thing people hate to see, really. It's just annoying and it makes you feel, again, I want that whole video of my life back, because it was just a waste of time. Why would I watch that? So, if I'm aimlessly wandering around and don't know what to do, it probably won't happen, I'll just say this, because Pokemon games are usually pretty easy to navigate. They're designed for children, after all, and I'm a veteran of the series, so hopefully I've got a pretty good grasp of what the series does. I've got a good grasp of the genre's plot conventions, so I generally should know what to do. And I will also be talking to everyone. I know that some people don't do that, but I think those people are idiots. Or really impatient. I remember back in the day when Ruby and Sapphire first came out, I was reading a whole bunch of game review magazines, and the one question that always came into, the one question that always appeared on Ask the Editors mails is, where do I find the Pokeblock case in Ruby and Sapphire? Where is it? I have no idea. Really? You didn't talk to that one NPC in the first contest hall? Really? I'm sorry, that just bugged me. I just can't see why people would miss something like that. Again, you know, if you've played the game multiple times and you know where everything you can get is, it does make sense to avoid the pointless NPCs. Like Roa Mithril is doing that in his Emerald No Evolutions run, one that I think is actually pretty cool. So, yeah. Like I was saying though, aimlessly wandering around not knowing what to do probably won't happen. In the off chance it does happen, well, I will cut it out unless I end up saying something really interesting in my commentary. So yeah, that's going to be cut out if possible, and excessive failures, you know what, if I fail any more times than necessary, I'll put those in a fail channel thing. The thing is, the regular fail channel probably will not be showing up as much in this playthrough, because being a blind run, if my first run against a gym leader is a failure, then, well, I kind of have to show it, because, you know, it'll get my blind reactions. On that note, I seriously hope my first run-in with a villainous team leader is not a failure, because that would look horrible on camera. Seriously. Or worse, my first run-in with a legendary being a failure. No, 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 don't talk like that, don't talk like that, do not talk like that. I will not say that, that is tempting fate, I will not say that. Okay, so... I think I've said everything I need to say. I probably should rest my voice for the actual blind run itself. The videos of the blind run may be delayed a little bit because I want to get a feeling for if Nintendo has started to take them down, because some companies are kind of against people uploading Let's Plays of a game very soon after it comes out. Frame drop, sorry. And sometimes that happens. There was one run I saw recently that got taken down, but presumably that one actually got taken down because it was uploaded before the official release date. So yeah, if I was recording off my Australian copy, then, when we actually get it slightly before the US, and I uploaded that, chances are it very much would be taken down. See, I only just realised today, and it's a little sad, simultaneous worldwide release, not really simultaneous, because countries have different time zones, and eventually some places get it, some places don't. America got it surprisingly late, actually. I had to wait, again, I believe it's about 4 PM my time. I picked up my copy of the game at about 10 AM this morning, so, yeah, America got this surprisingly late. I feel so sorry for you guys, really. I know I kind of hate on how America gets games more often than we do in Australia, but seriously, you guys have to understand how painful it is being a gamer in Australia. Things have got better lately, but just... To put it in perspective, I hated it when everyone was like, oh, the Chrono Trigger DS remake, blah, everyone's already played the original already. No! The original Chrono Trigger was never released outside of America. Europe did not get Chrono Trigger. And it's just arrogant to assume that everyone would have played it when some countries didn't. Similarly, we didn't get Earthbound, we didn't get the first Super Mario RPG. There are a lot of games we just flat out didn't get. And America didn't feel our pain until Xenoblade Chronicles, which was practically like karmic retribution in a way. Sorry, you gotta understand my situation. Being in Australia, we really get screwed over. I already mentioned before that we pay double price for games. We also pay double price for Pokemon cards. Standard Pokemon pack in America is apparently $3. Standard Pokemon pack here, $6. Sometimes $7 if you're at a really dodgy place. Standard booster box in America, $90. Wow, I wished I could get that price here. You know how much we had to pay for booster boxes in Australia? $180. Yes. And before you say, oh, currency differences, there were several times when the American and Australian dollars were worth pretty much the same thing. So... we are getting things double price. Apparently this issue is not restricted to games. It also happens with iTunes. We get albums for practically double price, and for software like Photoshop and things like that. And I've gone really off topic, I'll just stop ranting for a minute. Let me just calm down for a minute. Just don't get the impression that I hate America, because some people in the comment section of earlier videos seem to have gotten that impression. I don't. I have nothing against any country in the world. I'm just really envious of you, actually. Speaking of comments, one last thing that I almost forgot to mention. I will be disabling all comments on all videos in this blind run until I've beaten the game. If things get particularly bad, I may even have to disable all comments on all videos on my entire channel. The reason being that, naturally, even though this is a blind run, and I'm actually recording this live, and you'll basically be seeing the game, did that just cut out for a second? Okay. You'll basically be seeing the game just as I'm going through it. There's don't want any spoilers if someone spoils something for me, even if it's just a suggestion, like, oh, the next gym is kind of tough, use this Pokemon, it helps. I don't want to know that. I want to play the game at my own pace. And I want to not be spoiled. This is completely blind. No outside influences at all. So, and even then, or even if someone says, even if I tell people, no spoilers, there are going to be those people who post spoilers. They do that. The internet is full of trolls, naturally. And so, telling people not to post spoilers is just, it's not going to stop them. So, sadly, I'm going to have to disable, as much as I like comments, I love getting comments, seriously. It shows me people are actually watching what I'm doing, so I like the knowledge of that. The problem is that I just don't want to avoid, I want to avoid spoilers, so don't want spoilers, and because of this, I think the best compromise is just to turn off comments entirely until I've finished the run. So if you watch the video and you like it, leave a like. Don't, you won't be able to comment, sadly. So, I'm sorry about that, but I feel it's the best measure against spoilers, so I'm sorry. I'm already boycotting Cerebi, just about every other Pokemon site, and I'm probably eventually going to boycott my university's Pokemon Society Facebook page. Which is kind of sad, because I just don't... I'm going to have to quarantine myself from any and all spoilers once I start this game. So, it's about 75%. I knew this would take a very long time. How long has this taken? I thought it would take hours, but anyway. I'm surprised that eShop thing resolved itself quickly. I don't want to say that, because if I say that, chances are this download's going to finish, and then it's going to say, eShop crashed. But yeah, I'm very glad that it actually still registered my purchase. In fact, part of me was terrified that it charged me and didn't give me the game. That would be horrible. Yeah, I'm still glad about that. So basically, any of you downloading X and Y now, if you attempt to press purchase, and you say yes and all of that, and then the eShop crashes, don't despair. Eventually, when the eShop is back up, your purchase will still be registered. Go into your previously downloaded software list and go to your Pokemon game and press re-download. You will be able to get the game perfectly fine as I am, hopefully. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, ignore the date and time on my 3DS, because, again, since this 3DS is from a different country than the one I live in, its date and time settings are completely weird. It's just all, completely off the hook. I'm going to have to reset those to my time once I actually start playing the game, because I don't actually know if this game does have a day or night cycle, but in the event that it does, because none of the screenshots have been at night, all of them have been in the daytime so far, but even on the event that it does have a day-night cycle, in the event that it does, yeah, my black and white, my black no experience run, almost all of it was recorded at night, so you don't get to see how colourful the world is, because everything's all dark and night-timey. The reason being that I basically only had time to record games at night then. Fortunately, this semester at uni I have a much better schedule, and I should be able to record during the day. In fact, I have 2 full days off in addition to the weekend, so yeah. As long as I'm not spending those days doing, like, essays and assignments and stuff, I should be able to record a lot of this game then. Once again, the initial, videos of this run might be delayed a little. I just want to gauge the waters a bit, see if anyone else's video is getting taken down, because I don't want to lose my 15-minute, my longer than 15-minute privileges, especially coming right up to the end of the Black No Experience run. But suffice to say, I will be recording this, and even if I can't upload it at first, even if I have to wait months, I really hope that's not the case, but even if I do have to wait months, I'll still record all of my blind reactions, everything, and I'll have all the footage saved and ready to upload. So, yes, you will be getting a blind run of this game. Once again, everyone's experience of any game is unique, so I know that a lot of other people on YouTube are doing this. I know I'm not the most popular on YouTube, but at least you'll get another unique perspective on this game. Speaking of perspective on this game, I'll most likely be focusing on things like super training and actual battling, new battle styles, anything that's relevant to EV training, like super training actually, anything that's relevant to breeding, anything relevant to competitive, any moves that might be good in competitive, any Pokemon that might be good in competitive, although never, ever, ever, ever make competitive speculations at the start of a generation. It's just bound to go wrong. I've already said this in my previous Pokemon commentaries, but I'll iterate this again. If you want to see some very hilarious examples of early metagame predictions that turned out to be horribly wrong, go ahead and look at Cerebi.net's early 4th generation Pokemon of the Week. You'll see such entries as Electivire, it is a top-tier threat, be prepared to see a lot of it. And, Rhyperior, it's been hyped for a reason, expect to see a lot of it. And Garchomp, it's unlikely it'll live up to the hype it's received, don't expect to see much of it. I'll leave you free to laugh at that. Oh, how wrong early predictions can be. I'm kind of sad that I'm doing this blind, because otherwise I've been looking at those early predictions just so I could look at them later and laugh at them. Yes, so basically, if you're all around any websites and people are suggesting something that's probably going to be good in competitive, don't believe them, because it's probably not going to be good. Early speculations are wrong. That is the rule of thumb when it comes to the metagame. It will always happen like that. Early speculations will be completely and utterly wrong. So, just don't trust any of them. I will say, though, I am very much looking forward to the Topsy-Turvy Draco Meteor combo. That looks pretty nice, although it only worked in doubles, obviously. You know, just when I was walking around today, I thought of a weird gimmicky strategy for that. What was it again? It was... Oh, right, okay. This is probably stupid and extremely gimmicky and is probably not going to be good at all. But I just thought, what about... It's probably not worth it. What about using Memento on your own partner to sharply lower their attack and special attack, and fating yourself in the process, then switching in Malamar and using Topsy-Turvy to turn that into a +2 attack boost for both stats, and then proceeding to sweep everything. Unfortunately, you've just sacrificed one of your own Pokemon to do that, so it's a pretty cruel strategy, and it's probably pretty bad as well. So, yeah, it's probably terrible, so I'm not really gonna... But hey, if you want to use a gimmicky team with that, do that. Go ahead and do that. I give you free reign to use that strategy. And I think I've run out of things to say, but we're getting close to finishing. Getting very close to finishing. Oh, wow, this is going to be awesome. So awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this. Again, I haven't been this excited for a game since... Seriously, I've been more excited for this game than I was for my birthday, but that was mostly because the capture card that was ordered for my birthday didn't actually come on time for my birthday. But I can't really blame the guy for that. It came just in time. You know, my capture card literally arrived yesterday. The day before these games came out. That was just perfect. Though I feel sorry for all those who... A lot of people ordered capture cards just for this game, and a lot of people aren't going to get them in time, so I feel really sad for them. But, at least I was one of the lucky ones, and I really thought I wouldn't be, because I usually am notoriously unlucky with just about everything. So, I was psyching myself up for total disaster when it came to this, but it looks like the blind runner's going ahead after all. How much longer will it take? It's okay. I'm probably not going to waste time boring you. The rest of this video will probably just be cut out. Unless I end up thinking of something interesting to say, which I probably won't in the next few minutes. But I should save my interesting comments for the start of the game. So, look forward to that at least. It's starting to glow a bit. And yeah, so this will be Pokemon X version. I'll also be playing through my Y version, probably around the same time. And I've got something a little special planned if I do that. This is assuming the two systems are capable of intercommunication, because if they're not, I'm in trouble. But, really serious trouble, actually. But, as long as they are, then, yeah. Oh, speaking of communication, yeah, I'm still being a blind run. I'm not entirely sure just how much information is on the touchscreen, but I know that a lot of the Pokemon status screens are on there, so I might have to still record the touchscreen. Now, I have a method that might let me split the screens, right? So, I'll just have to make sure that I find some help on getting that to work, and that might be happening. But... on the other hand, though, until that happens, I might just upload these videos as they are, but maybe with some sidebars. Just some very basic sidebars. You know, I've never really seen that thing do that before. Then again, I've never really done a download as long as this, because Fire Emblem Awakening is the only other full title I have digital, and, well, that came with the system, obviously. This game's even bigger than Fire Emblem Awakening was, so yeah. And I always expected the eShop to crash with this one, because Awakening, you know... Awakening crashed the eShop, and that was a pretty unexpected thing. And now Pokemon is like a hugely popular, massive worldwide franchise, and yeah, I was thinking, yep, eShop's seriously gonna die with that, and it kinda did. I was really hoping they'd get really good servers just in preparation for X and Y. Fortunately, it seems like it's actually gone back online quite quickly, which is nice. So, yeah. That's good, because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to download this for about, several hours. Or even I'd have to wait a few days, because the eShop for Fire Emblem, I believe, was dead for a long time. That's the good thing about digital releases, though. You don't have to ever worry about them selling out. Of course, the annoying thing about digital releases is that you can't actually pre-ordered them in a sense, so I just had, it's like a first come, first serve thing, but there are an infinite number of copies of them. And, you can take it wherever you want, you don't have to worry about taking your physical cartridge everywhere. The only downside is that, yeah, if you lose the SD card, but anyway. Oh, so close, so close, so close, so close, so close. You're probably going to hear me scream. My apologies for my scream, a little earlier, but yes, I was legitimately frustrated that the eShop exploded, even though I expected it. But you're probably going to hear me scream, soon. Of course, if this thing ends up crashing, then... I only just noticed that that thing there says Pokemon Trademark X, and I noticed they've actually left off the word version from the game titles. They're just Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, not X version and Y version, which is kind of interesting, because, I believe Black and White had the version thing. Ruby and Sapphire, I don't think had the version thing. Diamond and Pearl, I don't know. Yeah, I keep forgetting these things. I know that the series stopped doing the gotta catch 'em all slogan, which I personally hated, only because it reminded me of the original anime, which was, of course, a 4Kids dub. Well, again, it was one of 4Kids' better dubs, I'll give it that, but that's really not saying much. It still had some... Yes! Ah! It's done! It's finished! It's finished! It's finished, it's finished, it's finished, it's finished, it's finished. No, I do not want to download a swap note update. Get me out of the eShop, 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 get me out of the eShop. New software has been added to the home menu. I wonder what it is. I've gone insane now, haven't I? Why look! It's Pokemon X version. Let's open it up. Oh, that's cool. Let's see what that looks like in 3D. Whoa, wow, look at that 3D Xerneas there. You can't see this, obviously. Now, fortunately, most of these games are not really in full 3D, so there won't be a lot of times where I say, wow, it's a shame you're not watching this in 3D because it looks awesome. But still, anyway, I guess I'll get onto that later. But anyway... So, this has been Big Clinky, and very soon, I will see you in the Kalos region for Pokemon X Blind. See you then, it is going to be awesome.